Hello and welcome to Filmfolket's podcast. We that speaks today is Göran,
Daniel.
And Björn.
Today's movie is Heavy Metal 1981. And the movie in brief, it's based on a comic with the same name. And this movie is split into, I think it is maybe 4 or 5 different stories. And basically, there's sort of a green globe or like pearl that is like the sum of all evil. And basically, depending on which story it is, it works in different ways. Either you get destroyed, vaporized, or you get mutated, or you can touch it. Or some worlds you can don't touch it and then you vaporized. So depending on which story it is.
I feel like it's more like it decides if you're able to touch it. I think that's the consensus here. It's decided if you're not worthy of it, or if you're like this is going to be my vessel to take me to another place where I need to be. Create havoc. It's like it feeds on evil, and it likes to create chaos. And it's like the size change, like you said. Sometimes it's a pearl, and sometimes it's an orb, and in one of the orbits it's like a mountain or bigger than a mountain.
I wanted to say maybe it depends on the place how big it is. Maybe it's just a marble because the people is giants or something, but maybe it is changing its size depending on the story. Maybe.
Because the orb itself, or the being that is inside or something, says that in some worlds it's considered a god. In other worlds it's just an object of greed.
I think it has some kind of free will because, as you said, sometimes people just get vaporized if they touch it. Sometimes they get vaporized if they are just near it. Sometimes people can pick it up and move it around without getting demonstrably killed without reason. But it all depends. As you say, I think it judges the people that comes near it, if depending how much chaos they can generate, perhaps. And sometimes they actually leave the hosts alone, like the guy from Earth that got teleported through space and time to another planet, ? They actually kind of survived the ordeal and lived happily ever after, maybe. So it very much depends.
Yeah, it brings out the evil inside of humanity as well, especially when it comes to the space adventure that a scientist for the Pentagon or whatever. It brought the evil inside him to do his deed against the woman that he attacked. So it really brings out the evil in the humanity, that green ball.
But that person was actually a robot. It wasn't a human.
I mean the human that was saying, is this true about the thing that grow out on humans? Is that from outer space? And when he saw the green ball, something inside him made him to attack the woman.
But the one that attacked the woman was the robot. The professor or the scientist. Because when they got up in the spaceship, you could see that parts, he fell apart. And the robot said, I got to repair it again or something.
I have to repair this asshole again.
So it was basically their robot. It's like a spy or something that's down on Earth. But I think the orb can change even robots or something. It doesn't have to be flesh. It could be anything.
Well, it's certainly it was people, but it was dead people. They turned dead people in the B-2 bomber kind of plane. They got mutated into kind of zombies, and even the people down on the little island, all dead people were zombies too. So dead people? Are they people? Are they inanimate objects after they have become carcasses? Yeah, it's a good question, but certainly has effect on both the material and non-material things.
It's also interesting from story to story how much this green globe is going to affect people. Some people doesn't get affected by them, like Den of Earth. He decided that he didn't want to have any part of it and just went away. And then we have like Harry that saw that this woman was no good, was only greed, nothing left in her body, so he used the vaporized thing that he had like in his car.
Here's the thing. Then I start to wonder if the globe isn't completely like could control anybody, like bring out greed from anybody. So that, like you can have no greed in you, but the orb practically says that nobody is safe. That's like how it perceives itself. But in fact, it does have some things that he can't control. But he could still control something around that person or thing to destroy it. But it's not all powerful like that. Or if it's just, it doesn't want to. It decides, like, you're not worth time, or I don't need to control this person. I wonder how that is. Is it the orb, or can you be immune to the orb?
And then we get to the last story that is like the legend of Tarna, the Terrakian, that apparently are related to this girl in the beginning. And I feel like I like that story the most because it's like a myth about this tribe of warriors that was able to destroy this evil thing. So I think I like that story the best because it's a very based how it's animated and also how those being or humans got mutated as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the last story the most. I like the whole world building of this dying race, and there's the warrior, and the warrior can change without it being like born something. Yes, it's like a spirit, so you can. It doesn't matter if you're worlds apart. Someone could be born from, even if they're already a full adult or a child or something, they can become this Thracian. I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, I would want to watch more of that. More animated movies just from that story.
I would say, well, it's the only one that's actually somewhat complete because it starts in the beginning. Everything in this movie is kind of a fever dream, of course. But it actually has a beginning, and towards the end it actually continues somewhat from the start of the movie. So it actually has a beginning, then a lot of other inconsequential stories, but it has a theme because of the orb. But it has a beginning, and then it has an end, and it has a legend behind it. For at least one other generation, the evil has been vanquished, and maybe it comes back again, but now we have a new incarnation of this protector. So yeah, I think you could do a real movie based on this. This was good, certainly. It was also weird, but it was good. But you could make not original because it's based on this, but you can make a original movie based on this, short, long story and make it. I want to say more complete, but it's already somewhat complete. But it's certainly it's a weird movie to see. A lot of themes and interesting parts. So much you can say.
I was wondering what could have been done differently and other thoughts. And what I think, I like the animation, somewhat like hand drawn, and then they like put in real pictures, or like pictures of cars or like buildings mixed in with somewhat hand drawn animated style. I don't know what it's called.
Well, I kind of know what you're talking about, that they are also using a type of stop motion with real images transplanted in this art style and some effects. Well, it's a mixture of different art styles. Well, not art styles. It's the same art style practically throughout the movie, but it's interwoven with real life footage.
I think if we would have had Johannes with it, he would have known, but he's on holiday at the moment, but he will be back in a couple of weeks.
And of course, the music, it's great.
Yep.
It's metal music, like the movie title, heavy metal. We got quite a few known bands. We have Sabbath making music. I saw Journey. I think Nazareth was a band also. We have
Riggs.
and Sammy Hagar. So quite a nice compilation of artists. And
then we also have Devo, which also have like sort of a band in the last story, and I think it was like a joke about this band that I saw another reviewer about, and then he said like, Devo? Well, I guess it was like the best band they could have hire. And then we got like a picture from when they were in the bar with the jazz musicians that are in that bar from, I think, Star Wars A New Hope.
yeah.
There's a lot of shenanigans. Like we said, it's a fever dream. I mean, it's a good mix overall, even if some dialogues are very cheesy.
They're very cheesy, but it's good. It's not super dialogue heavy either. Mostly it's about the music and the art style. So I think it's a good movie overall. It's a bit weird, but it's interesting.
Something I thought was a little interesting was I was about to say, it was not so much foul language in it. It certainly was bitch, and other times they were somewhat nasty towards each other, but not a lot of f-bombs or general. I thought it was a little odd that I didn't hear more foul language. But as you said, it wasn't a super heavy dialogue movie within itself. More than the narration that, the source of all evil was always somewhat transplanted throughout the stories. But I certainly liked the short story, the many short stories throughout the movie. I mean, if you didn't like a certain aspect of one story, maybe you liked the other, and it continued on in a way that made it interesting for every corner you turn. Something new, something interesting. Very elaborate art for its time, hand drawn. I am very impressed, actually, of a lot of the scenes. I was talking to the others saying, I wonder how many hours they took to animate this back in the 80s. It was nice to look at, even though it's a juvenile at some points in the movie, certainly.
Yeah, I agree that I like the overall aspect of the movie, and just from beginning to end when he's telling the stories. And also just the beginning is quite cool as well with the car.
And the whole introduction to the whole evil orb, source of all evil. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's very metal. So yeah, a bunch of short stories, really cool. I mean, the animation can seem a bit janky, but from the time it is, and it's a couple of short stories, it's kind of interesting how they did it. So still likable, but I would like to watch it, but with better animations. Like, how would it be done today? That's the kind of feeling. So like a remaster of this would be pretty cool to see.
Other ideas for next time?
We were thinking about Page Master, if we can get a hold of it. If not, Eurotrip.
Eurotrip. Yeah, why not? Sounds good. Well, I wish you all goodbye for this time. Don't forget to watch, like, and subscribe, and follow our social. See you next time.
See ya.
Goodbye.